All right, we are so glad that you're watching. If you've just joined us, we were in quite a good conversation there. And it's regards to the youth. Have you taken your voters registration, and do you plan to vote come August 8th, 2017? But before we can continue that conversation, there's a group of cool young people who are already encouraging other youth to go out there and vote. It's under the campaign Jivotier. Here, take a look at that. That back to you, because I think it's very important. Other youth encouraging youth to go outside there with that campaign Jivotier. Sharon, first of all, karibu.
Thank you.
We were just discussing the issue of voting, all right? Juliani had mentioned that we think we are not giving the youth rather enough. We're not paying attention to the youth. And then John Bryan here was like, but the youth do not need to be paid. You were on that conversation, and we cut you short.
Yeah, what I was saying was, I don't really think that every single time we always have to complain that the youth have not been given the chance to air their views.
All right.
When you look 10 years, 20 years in this country, in '92 when multipartyism was supposed to be introduced, the youth came out very strong, and they said we want the change. Every single time, even when you go to the University of Nairobi, because I'm a student leader.
Yes.
A student leader would stand up and speak on behalf of the nation, and their voice will be heard. I just feel like they should stand up and have their place. It does not mean that if they're not heard, that's why they should vote.
It's not about a voice. It's about if you're a young person from university or from any mtaa side, economically you're not even there. So utafikiria kwenda ku voice zako ama utaenda kutafuta food then. Una get? So we are not trying to say that, oh, because if the only thing that young people have is time and energy. So you don't want them to use their time and energy to come and air their views, because what I air views out kama dirisha zenyu. So what you want ni people who realize that actually 80% when nani anasema ni youth, kaa chini kusema mnasemaje, mtunaendaje, mnatakaje. Then from there now because you don't want youth to go that angle.
Sharon, let me just engage you because you've just come in. Talk to me.
First of all, I will agree with Juliani to some extent that the youth haven't really been given that environment to air the views, to just be the potential that they have to just put into the economy hasn't really been utilized. But I'll also agree with Brian on the fact that the youth bulge has been with us since 2012. It was actually an international topic that was taken up by the United Nations concerning developing countries. We already know that youth take up almost 3/4 of the Kenyan society, the African society.
That's true.
And no one is going to give you the mantle and tell you, okay, now tell us what you want. We didn't get our history through that way. We didn't get where we are by people giving us on silver platters what we deserve.
So we need to be more aggressive.
We need to be more aggressive as youth. I feel like what we're doing right now as youth, this is pretty good, that we know our potential and we're out here telling you guys, vote, go out and take your card. But how many percentage of the youth actually take up that voice and say, I'm going to stand up with the youth that feel like we should take up the stand and actually take those voting cards?
All right, get this. 90% from a research that was done, 90% of youth in Kenya believe that it's important to vote, but yet another 62% believe, or rather they would actually vote for a candidate who bribes them. Now, Okoro, you were leading Take Back Kenya, which was one of the biggest trends I've seen this year so far. What do you... 62% will vote for the candidate who bribes them.
Yes. I'm disturbed, but again, reality is...
Yes.
Wow, Kenya is a beautiful place, and the politics is amazing. Reality is that politics has been structured and cultured in a way that systematically promotes that bribery, buying of votes, stealing of votes, and all that negativity around it, right? Because we have never had people or a group of young people who can rally around issues and put issues on the table. Then again, you'll be asked, oh, but you know, issues don't feed us or whatever. But you know, the kind of change that we want in the space that we want to be in, because right now statistics have it as Kenya leads. Kenya is after Congo, I think at 40%. Congo is probably at 46% unemployment, and that is majorly on young people. So the kind of space we want to occupy, the kind of space we want to reclaim, even with Take Back Kenya, is create an issue-based environment where our politics is not just about that. you know, about bribery. But then again, what if you took the bribe, it's still a secret ballot, you can still vote for the right person. But that, you know, that is very technical.
Yeah.
That's another conversation. So the thing for me is, and the thing that really burns me, is the fact that we don't rally around the issues enough, and youth are waiting. It's not that we are not being heard. We are being heard loud and clear, but we are not loud enough. We are not persistent, we are not committed, and we are not ready to be resilient.
Okay.
You know?
I think the part for we're not committed really stands
Yeah,
out to
I
me.
also.
You
We're not
guys think,
committed.
okay,
No, it's not. It's not. There's nothing like commitment. If you look at history, peke yake, history. Even if you look at the youth when we were fighting for ukoloni.
yeah.
So young people, in specific the Kikuyu young people, walikuwa naenda wanatry kuhustle, wanatry kuambia say ni aje. Wakaenda kachukua panga. So you don't want young people to be loud. And you need to understand why is it that wana prefer kuchukua voting card so that wanaenda wakanini. I'm not saying whatever you guys are saying is okay. The only thing I'm saying is that let's understand first.
Okay.
We assume it's an employment.
Okay.
Maybe it's not an employment. Maybe it's an issue of identity. Maybe it's an issue of
You know, the political dogma is just that every single election, some people think it's going to be rigged.
Yeah.
And they participate in it because they just want to get it done and just move on with life. But I think the urgency, and I feel like this is where the difference comes in. We cannot take pangas this time around, but the more we vote, the more we come out and vote, and we are a big number.
All right.
I don't think we will be ignored in that form of
Sharon is like, no. Okay, Sharon, before
I totally, like, honestly, Juliani, I understand that, yes, to a large extent, I feel like our government and part of the private sector isn't doing as much as they should for the youth. But here's the thing, yes. I'm still a university student.
Yes.
When lights go off in school,
yes.
I'm at University of Nairobi,
yeah.
the whole school will go at a standstill because we're going to strike about it. We're going to make our voices heard. So what's the difference between electricity going aloof and us voting for our future leaders? Why can't we be committed to this particular issue, but be committed to the trivial matters that can be taken care
Sharon,
of?
I hear you, and let me tell you something. We're going to play that clip for you right now, where other youth are actually encouraging youth to go outside there and take their registration. Because let's be honest, for 14th February 2017 is not far away, people. So take a look at this clip, and it's called Jivotier, the campaign behind it.
Chukua kura, ukikosa utapigwa vitima. Chukua kura, ukikosa utapigwa vitima. Chukua kura, ukikosa utapigwa vitima.
Oh boy, that Detima video. What is it? You know, Raila, Uhuru, everyone has done it. Either way, guys, we have to round up this conversation. But before we do so, there's one thing that I am getting from all of us, that we sound, that everyone is on the same level. We go out there and get registered, yeah? Yes. And number two is what you said, and Brian, is the issue of the idea of, but the person I want to vote for is not there. But look at these candidates, Zinzi. You know, they've been there for the 10 plus years. What are they going to do? And you mentioned something very important. We can worry about the options later, but now go outside there and get your registration card.
Get your voice.
Closing remarks. Sharon, I'll begin with you.
I'd say to the youth that democracy is a process. It depends on the actions and the choices of people, and it's about time as a youth we stop being committed to trivial matters and actually take our country seriously. Go out, get your votes, get your voice, and get to know who your leaders are.
All right. Juliani.
People should listen. The youth, you don't want the youth to go out.
Yeah.
You don't want the youth to go out. You should listen. You should listen the real reason why young people actually they are the way they are. Let's not give them a lecture. It's like, unapatia mse pack lunch, unaambia jisort. No, maybe they don't want the pack. Maybe wanataka mandazi hapo na maragwe hapo kando. Unajua unawapatia pack lunch. Maybe even they don't want food.
Yeah.
We should listen, the private sector, the government. If nobody listens,
There's a problem.
Okay, I hear you. So
Yeah.
we need to listen more to the youth.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I will start from there. We should listen. We should listen because young people are speaking and they may have different podiums or modems of speaking or articulating their issues. We should listen. It's very important. And we should stop talking to them. We should talk with them. Because the country is at a place where the future of it is in the youth hands. And if you're not listening to these people, you have no idea where they're going to take it, you know? So another thing for me, which is very key, is we need to realize that democracy doesn't just require a voice. Democracy requires noise to exist.
Democracy just doesn't require a voice, it requires noise.
Democracy cannot exist in silence, you know? And I think for the longest time, youth have been silenced for so long that right now, what's coming out is coming out as a rage or an outpour or an outburst of anger. And we should listen to that so that we can contain it.
Okay, John Bryan?
I just don't want the youth to listen. I want them to act. And that's why I would love them to vote in this election. And to the president and the former prime minister is that they should be able to lead the youth into doing what is right during the election period. Because you look, change happened in the US, it happened in Britain. And every single time an election can change so many things.
Okay.
So the youth should come out and vote.
Okay. John Bryan, Okore, Juliani, Sharon, you guys have been an amazing panel. I will be calling you back for that same conversation all over again. And that was the issue of youth. Have you gone out there and getting your registration card? 14th February is not far away. And before we can take another short break, we went outside there and asked you about what you think about these elections coming. Here is Street Sense with what your views were.
BEA Beautiful Moments in the city streets of Nairobi where I'm meeting youth. Na nauliza swali simple sana. The first question is, are you a registered voter? And if so, are you going to vote this year? That's the big question. So I'm walking in the city streets of Nairobi, nakutana na watu different. Let's see what they have to say. Swali ni simple. This year umeregister kama voter?
Yeah, I'm a registered voter.
Exactly. Na this year umeamwaje utapiga kura ama ni?
Lazima nipige kura ndio nichague kiongozi wangu.
Okay.
Kiongozi mzuri.
Okay. Na ume-encourage youth wengine waweze kuvote na sijui kama watu wenye wako around you pia wameregister kama voters.
Yes, I'm encouraging all the youths to come out in large numbers to vote because by voting is when we'll get good leaders and do away with the bad leadership.
And I met another gentleman who had this to say. Habari yako?
Mzuri sana.
Niambie jina yako.
My name is Samuel Mlando.
Exactly. Unatoka county gani?
Natoka Vihiga County, lakini naishi hapa Nairobi.
Okay, so umeregister county gani?
Nimeregister Vihiga County.
Na utaweza kupiga kura mwaka huu?
Nitapiga. Lazima kwa sababu hii kura yangu ndio future yangu tomorrow. Yes, sasa nitapiga kura na naambia wanafunzi wengine na watu wengine huko nje wapige kura.
The youth are on FIER, on fire, meeting Mark Kaume, and this is what he has to say. Sasa Mark.
I'm fine.
Niaje?
Poa.
Niambie, umeregister kuvote mwaka huu?
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Niambie, kama una vote this year ama umeregister tu?
It's a must, I vote. Yeah.
Uta vote ukiwa county gani?
Meru County.
Nice. So unamaanisha naweza penda encourage youth wengine waambie kuhusu kura na venye watavote?
Yeah, I'm encouraging the youth to go and take their votes. Yeah. And they must vote. Yeah.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm meeting some BEA beautiful girls in the city streets of Nairobi. Wacha tusikie pia ladies kile wako nayo kusema. And yeah, hi.
Hi.
Please tell us your names, please.
I'm Sheila.
Sheila?
I'm Jael. I'm Vanessa.
Two simple questions. If you're given an opportunity, would you vote?
Yeah.
Why would you vote?
Because you find most people complaining that you've chosen bad leaders, and you find those people have not gone out to choose the leaders they want. So I think us as youth, we should have the opportunity in our hands to choose who we want. Yeah.
Would you vote if you're 18 years old and above?
Yeah.
And why?
Because the country is ours and we have a right to build it, and as good citizens we should vote.
Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. The youth have said it, wako ready. They're ready, pretty much ready to vote this year. Most of them who have not registered are really willing to register. And I'm also still meeting some more people in the city streets of Nairobi. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What's your name?
I'm Avril Grace Kalungwa.
Okay, two simple questions. Have you registered to vote this year?
No, but by Wednesday I'll be able to register.
Okay, that's nice. And After you vote, are you considering, after you take your elector's card, are you going to vote this year?
Definitely, definitely. I have
Please
to
tell us from which county?
From Chacos County.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what are you telling the youth out there?
That it's good to choose your leaders. It's good that we decide to make a change, and change comes through votes.
Mimi naitwa Rapa KG. I'm an artist pia.
Mimi naitwa DJ Ludi.
Okay. So nilikuwa nataka kuuliza swali simple. Are you registered as voters mwaka huu?
Tusha register na tuko ready ku vote. Unajua for me personally ni first time ku vote. Ni juzi tu nimefikisha miaka, so nimechukua ID na nimemake sure nimeregister. Yani nitaka pia kuenjoy vile watu usinasikiaga watu wanasemanga kuvote. Pia mimi na nisikie kuvote huko aje.
Nice, hiyo ni fit.
Na nataka ikuwe peaceful kabisa, yani isikuwe na makasheshe nini mavijana mtaani, yani tufanye hii kitu yani kama watu wamegrow, yani watu wanajua vitu tunadu.
Na una vote county gani?
Trans Nzoia County.
Hapo sawa.
Lakini sasa base bado ni Nairobi.
Hapo sawa.
Hapa lazima tutapiga kura bado pia.
Okay, nice. So nikuulize, na wewe unaitwa nani?
Mimi naitwa DJ Ludi.
Yeah, very nice. Na nikuulize, umechukua kura this year?
Nisha register, mimi nimejipanga. Unajua this year yani tumeamua kama ni mambo na kuvote, tuvotie the good leaders. Wala watatuongoza fiti. At least yani tutasema tukichagua leaders tuone vile country imechange, imeendelea. Tutajua wenyewe ni vote zetu, si ndio tulichagua good leaders. But tukikata kuvote kama my youth, naweza advise my youth pia wachukue hizi wa register, wa vote. Sisi ndio inapata ile good leaders. Hao ndio watatusaidia, hao ndio watachange life yetu hapa country yetu pia. So sisi tuliamua kuregister kama si vile ni my youth, hivi si ni ma artist pia. Sasa pia wasanii wenzetu na vijana wa mtaa pia wa register.
Hapo sawa. So nikuulize, utapiga kura ukiwa county gani?
Akaunti yetu ni Trans Nzoia, lakini sasa tuko Makadara. Makadara.
Lazima.
Lazima.
Asanteni. Thank you very much. Well, we have it, folks. The youth have decided that most of them are registered to vote this year. Now, yeah, let's see what happens. If you're an artist, a singer, dancer, everyone, kila youth, nakwambia kila mtu amedecide kupiga kura. Sijui naona kila mtu amepiga luku, kila mtu anakaa fresh. So, if you haven't registered to vote, this is your time. Take an initiative and make sure that you vote. Beautiful conversation right there, Juliani, and the youth have spoken. Na najua mnasikiliza maneno mengi kutoka kwa youth. The youth have it, but this is the art corner where I give you information as it comes. I'm going to be giving you the nitty-gritties of some of the events that are going to be happening in the city streets of Nairobi come next week. But this week, actually today, I met the cast of Katikati, and I had an interview with them. I hope that you're going to enjoy it. BEA Beautiful Moments at the Nairobi Film Festival, where I got a chance to meet the cast of Katikati. Come with me.
I'm heartily sorry for offending you.
Where am I? I am Nyokabi Githaiga.
This is Katikati. And you're here because you're dead.
My name is Mugambi Ntega.
Your hands. What is that?
It happens to some of us here.
My official government names are... No. My official government names are Mbithi Masia.
It would be much easier if you don't question everything.
I don't know anything about your life. I play Kaleche. Kaleche is someone who wakes up in the afterlife with no idea of how she got there or why she's there. So she spends most of the time searching.
I was one of the writers on Katikati. I played the role of Timo. Timo is someone that shows up to the lodge much later on in the film.
I am the director and co-writer of a small movie called Katikati.
I couldn't save you. We have to keep hope alive. Hope? Wewe na hope? Ungekuwa na hope, ungekuwa hapa.
Katikati was inspired by multiple factors just coming together all at once. The project is part of an initiative of One Fine Day Films and Ginger Inc. Films, who have co-produced together movies like Nairobi Half-Life and Something Necessary, Bebe, and Soul Boy. And yeah, so they got in touch and asked me to work on a project. And at the time, I was grieving recent loss. And together with the co-writer Mugambi, we just kind of used the film as an opportunity to explore those feelings and emotions we were going through at the time.
Bithi was approached to write the next film in the One Fine Day series. And he texts me one morning and tells me, dude, expect a phone call. Didn't give me any details about that. And then I got a call saying, Bithi is writing our next film and they'd like you to be the co-writer. Are you good for that? And I was like, yeah, I'm good for that. We had a meeting, and then it was revealed to us that we were going to be shooting in one location. And we started thinking about what kind of story would actually remain captivating or exciting if we were shooting in one location. One location being a lodge/camp in Savo East, next to the Galana River. And then we started having a discussion about life and death. And because Bithi was, going through a moment of mourning and grief, I mean, we both were. We'd lost people close to us. We started exploring the idea of what it's like on the other side. And what if it's not what we think? You're going to paradise, or you're going to eternity, whatever your definition of eternity is. No. What if you don't get off that easy?
It was definitely hard. It was such a challenge because, you hear about people preparing for roles and what they go through to prepare for a role. Like, for example, someone is playing a cook on a show, and in the process of preparing for the role, they can go and speak to a chef and they can, watch videos on YouTube. But for Kalecha, it was kind of different because, I can't just call up someone in the afterlife and get some advice. So it was something I had to just imagine. And but it was a challenge.
Why do you do all this?
Good Samaritan. Advice to budding talent. Know why you want to do what you're doing. If you want to become a writer, if you want to become a producer, you want to become a director, an actor, know why. I think that's the most important question you need to answer, why.
Anything that is worthwhile is a struggle. And if you're really into acting, just know that it's going to be a struggle. You just have to really just keep going. You just have to keep going and say, well, this is what I want, this is what I want to do, and just keep going and pray a lot.
If you have an idea, make it happen. Like, don't sit on your ideas for too long, because I know as creatives, our ideas are precious to us, but also what we should know is that there are more where it came from.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you, Brian Eseli, with Art Corner and Katikati. That is a movie you have to go and watch. I personally will make sure I do that. It's time to grow our film industry here in Kenya and compete with the likes of South Africa and Nigeria. But art is not the only scene that youth are in, but also tech. And we want to bring you up with two of the top stories that we thought that you need to know with what's happening around the tech world, apart from Uber CEO, who just jumped right out of ship when it comes to Donald Trump's advisory, okay? So first of all, let's head over to China, where China's first petal of computer has been operating at full capacity with over 1,400 tasks running on a daily basis since more than 6 years ago, leading the world computing operation. Now housing the modern port of the city of Jinati, meaning Milky Way, can perform about 2.57 quadrillion calculations and 2.57 petalops seconds. Now the titanium, which has been providing supercomputing services in the fields, including oil exploration, high-end equipment manufacturing, biology, medicine, animation, design, new energy, new material, both home and board, China is planning to develop a prototype of an X-scale computer, considering the next frontier of the supercomputer by the end of this year, 2017. All right, very quick. Now let's jump all the way to Brazil, where thousands of self-proclaimed geeks and tech nerds flocked to the Brazil's 10th campus party this week to show off their fancy desktop computers and debate the future of the internet and other technologies, all right? The massive annual tech fair opened on Tuesday in business capital Sao Paulo and is bringing together some 1,300 programmers from several Latin American countries, which is going to be open till Sunday. Now, the event is expected to receive 90,000 1,000 visitors this year. The event will feature the big hackathon marathon, co-sponsored by the United Nations Development Program. The competition is a 100-hour challenge that has participants developing tech solutions for global sustainability. Campus Party is an opportunity for tech-savvy nerds to meet in person and share ideas and knowledge they usually only discuss on social networks. The event also brings the tech personalities of lecturers, debates, and workshops about a wide range of themes regarding innovations. All right, Asili, we're coming to the end of the first episode of Youth Cafe. 1 hour, it goes so fast.
And I'm telling you, I'm liking the conversations on Twitter. I hope we're going to get more chance to just...
read some of them.
Yeah.
In fact, speaking of reading some of them, we asked you a Twitter poll question earlier. As the youth, do you plan to vote on August 8th and why? Of course, 14% of you still say, I still do not know. Another 20% rather say no. And 66, very encouraging, percent says yes, they do plan to go outside there and vote. Would love to read some of those tweets that are coming through. This one's from Silas, which says, I must vote because it is my democratic right, and I feel like Kenyans need change. Otherwise, great show, people. All right, thank you, Silas.
Yeah.
Any tweet?
I have a tweet by Victor Peter, who says, I'll eat the money, but view for change at the ballot box. I'll be all alone.
All right, Farah says, yes, it will be the only time my significance will be felt as a Kenyan youth.
Irungo Karugu says, question is, do you have a reason to vote in a race against two political devils?
At Majesi, cool Twitter handle. You say, ghost voters already casted, counted, and sealed. I think my vote is just a formality, but I will. Now, those are some of the tweets regarding today's question, which, like we've been saying the entire show, this is a very important topic, and it's the issue of youth and voting. August 8th is not far away, and if you think that February 14th is not far away, guess what? It is coming, and it's coming fast. So take your date on 14th February to go register.
Exactly.
If they haven't, guys.
That's the Valentine gift I'm going to give my potential, because I've been chasing, you know, I've been chasing.
Aseli, calm down, calm down. All right, now, we would also like to give a shout out. You see these posters right here, these paintings rather, that were done by none other than Eddie Ochieng. We'll tweet his Twitter handle and contacts. You can get some of these amazing artists that he does. And listen, if you're doing art or tech and you have something amazing, we want to tell your story, so make sure you tweet us. That's it here on Youth Cafe. My name is Zinzi Kibiku.
And the hottest man in East and Central Africa, Brian Aseli. We hope that you had a beautiful night.
Up next, it is Friday Briefing with Betty Chalo.